So today's lesson is lesson 9-4, which is convert within the customary system. Okay, so you already took your conversion chart and taped it into your notebook. You added that one tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons to your chart, and you had an introduction to your homework and the lesson by doing this warm-up. Okay, so here's your conversion chart. Okay, and here we added 1 tablespoon to the SP. Tablespoon is equal to 3 teaspoons, TSP. So those are the abbreviations. All right, so now I would like for you to write down this vocabulary. This is a unit ratio, also called a unit rate later on in our lessons. So a unit ratio is a ratio in which the first quantity is compared to 1 unit of the second quantity. Make sure you write that down in your notebook. So example 1 is convert larger units to smaller units. Method 1 is to use a bar diagram. Method 2 is to use unit ratios and equivalent ratios. So this one is the one where we had the ratios and we did calculations, and with the bar diagrams, we are using picture, okay, the tape diagrams. So I do want you to have the steps written down in your notes. So for example 1, when we are converting larger units to smaller units, the first example is to convert 3 miles to feet. Okay? Step 1 is to draw a bar to represent the 3 miles. Okay? So you're going to write, this is the bar, and each one of these is 1 mile. Okay? So this is 1 mile. This is 1 mile. And this is 1 mile. So then step 2 is to find the number of feet in 1 mile. So, and I have it right here, and you guys will just look at your conversion chart, right? So you'll see in your conversion chart that 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. Okay? So in each one of these boxes, we have, and I'm going to make this a little thinner so it'll fit. We have 5,280 feet here. We have 5,280 feet here. And we have 5,280 feet there. So, step 3 is to multiply. So, this is 5,280 feet plus 5,280 feet plus 5,280 feet. Of course, that's repeated addition, which is multiplication. So that's what we're multiplying. We're multiplying 5,280 feet times 3. Very good. So when we do that, 5,280 feet times 3, that gives us 15,840. So that's 15,840, and what are my units? Feet. So there are 15,840 feet in 3 miles. Method 2 is to use unit ratios and equivalent ratios. So this is the one where we're going to be doing the calculations with the ratios. Okay? So we want to convert 2 pints to cups. Okay? So the first thing you want to realize is, what are we comparing? What to what? Pints to cups. So we write pints to cups. Pints to cups. Okay? Then we're going to go to our conversion chart. Okay? And so we want to find out how many cups are in 1 pint. That's 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. That is our original ratio. Is everybody clear? Okay? So we're going to write 1 pint that goes in the numerator, 1 pint, to 2 cups goes in the denominator. Okay? Now, you guys, I want to remind you that usually I will just write the numbers in the calculations. My units are over on the side to remind myself what I'm working with. And then I'm going to put my units at the end when I get my final answer. Okay? So this 1 to 2, that is our original ratio. The original ratio, make sure you write this down, is from your conversion chart. Make sure you write that down to remind yourself. So now we are converting 2 pints to cups. So where does that 2 pints go in my equation here? In the numerator or the denominator? Well, where is pints? Here's my reminders. Where does pints go? In the numerator. Very good. So we're going to put 2 up here. So now we're solving for this x down here. All right. So remember how we did it last time. How do I get from 1 to 2? Multiply by 2. Very good. So if I multiply by 2 up there, I'm going to multiply by 2 down here, and that's going to get us to our x. So x is equal to 2 times 2, which is 4. And my units, of course, is for what? Cups. Very good. So example 2 is also convert larger units to smaller units, but this time we're going to use fractions in our bar diagram. Okay? And don't forget to write your steps. Okay? So step 1 is to draw a bar to represent 1/4 pound. Okay? Now, this whole thing, this bar right here, this whole thing is going to be 1 pound. Okay? That's 1 pound. Now, how do I represent 1/4? What do I shade in? Out of those boxes, how many do I shade in? 1. Very good. So we're going to shade in one of those boxes. Okay? That represents 1/4. Okay? So this is 1/4 pound. Go with me? All right. Now we want to find the number of ounces that go in each box. Well, the whole thing is 1 pound, right? And 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So this whole thing is 16 ounces. How do I know how many ounces go in each box? Divided by 4. Very good. So we have 16 divided by 4, and that's going to give us 4 ounces in each box. Okay? So I will put 4 ounces, 4 ounces, 4 ounces, and another 4 ounces. So that's 16 total ounces, which is 1 full pound. And now we can interpret our diagram. How many ounces is in 1/4 of a pound? 4 ounces. So there are 4 ounces in 1/4, 4 ounces in 1/4 pound. All right, you're going to take a few minutes to work on method 2 with your table partners. This is using the ratio the ratios and equivalent ratios. It says a blue whale calf can weigh as much as 3 tons at birth. How many ounces does a blue whale calf weigh if it is exactly 2.5 tons when it is born? So I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to work on that with your table partners. Okay. All right. So the important information is what? What's the important information here? Very good, very good. So the calf weighs exactly 2.5 tons when it's born, and we want to know how many ounces does it weigh, right? Is that other number important? No, we don't even need that, right? That's just extra information, right? Okay, so we want to go from tons to ounces. But we can't go from tons to ounces. We can go from tons to pounds, and then from pounds to ounces. So there's 2 conversions that we're going to do here. Is everybody clear? All right. So we're going to start with our original ratio. And where do I get my original ratio? From the chart. Very good. So we know for tons and pounds, we know that 1 ton is equal to 2,000 pounds. So where does it go? So 1 ton on top, 2,000 pounds on the bottom. Is everybody with me? So now we want to know, we want to convert 2.5 tons to pounds, right? So where does 2.5 tons go in my ratio? In the numerator or the denominator?
Numerator.
In the numerator. Very good. So we're going to put 2.5 here, right? And we're going to solve for x. So how do I get from 1 to 2.5? 1 times 2.5, right? So that means down here we're also going to multiply times 2.5, okay? So here's our calculator. We've got 2,000 times 2.5, and that's going to give us 5,000. Did everybody get that? So x is equal to 5,000 pounds. Don't forget your units, okay? That's not our whole thing. Now we want to go from pounds to ounces. Good. So here, what's our original ratio going to be? Pounds to ounces. Get it from the chart.
1 to 16.
Right. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. So that's going to be 1 to 16. Ever with me? Now, where does that 5,000 pounds go? In the numerator or the denominator? Pounds goes in the numerator. So this is going to be 5,000 up here. And then we're going to solve for x down there. So, to get from 1 to 5,000, these ones are pretty simple, right? 1 times 5,000, yeah, gives me 5,000. And so that means that I need to multiply times 5,000 down below. So that's going to be 5,000 times 16, 80,000. Very good. So x is equal to 80,000 what?
Ounces.
Very good. 80,000 ounces. And that's how much a little baby whale weighs. Example 3 is convert smaller units to larger units. Now, you guys, I'm going to let you do the bar diagram on your own. We are going to do method 2 together first, though. Okay? So we're going to come down here and do method 2. And we're going to do method 2, which is use the unit ratios. And we're going to convert 180 feet to yards. Okay? So here we've got, we're converting from feet to yards. Can I go from feet to yards?
Yes.
Yes. So we have our conversion chart. Very good. We're going from feet to yards. What's my first ratio? What's my first ratio? 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
2.
No, 3 to 1.
Right. 3 to 1. 3 feet is equal to 1 yard. You got to be careful how you write your ratios, right? Okay. Just make sure it matches up. So now we want to convert 180 feet. Where does 180 feet go? In the numerator or the denominator? Yes, that goes in the numerator. 180. And then we're going to solve for x. Is everybody clear? So now, how do I get from 3 to 180?
Multiply by 60.
Very good. So we're going to multiply by 60. Now, by the way, if you did not know that off the top of your head, couldn't you just divide 180 divided by 3 to get 60? And that tells you what you're multiplying by. Is everybody clear? All right. So now we're going to multiply 1 times 60, and of course that gives us 60. So x is equal to 61. 60 yards. Very good. 60 yards. And does everybody see when we're converting here from feet to yards, the number, 180, got smaller. Does everybody see that? So this one, you're going to use your bar diagrams. Make sure you follow your steps. You're going to convert 20 quarts to gallons. All right. So step 1 here is to draw a bar that represents 20 quarts. So these are 20 quarts. So this is 20 quarts. QTS, quarts. Okay? Now, then we want to find the number of gallons. Okay? So, my conversion is what? 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So, in my diagram, if I shade 4 of those, what's that equal to?
1 gallon.
That's 1 gallon. Is everybody with me?
Yeah.
So if I shade another one, another 4,
2 gallons.
that's going to be another 1 gallon. Okay? I shade another one, another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that? That's 1 gallon. And then we just keep on going. You gotta keep on going because this is how you show your work. Is everybody clear? So here, there's 4. There's 1 gallon. And then, of course, we've got, let's see, 4 more. And that is equal to 1 gallon. So, how many gallons do I have in that 20 quarts? Very good. So, 5 gallons in 20 quarts. Is everybody clear?
Yes.
All right, very good. All right, so here we are converting smaller units to larger units. Okay? It says Rebecca needs 54 inches of red ribbon for a craft project. We want to know what is the length in yards. Okay? So the important information is what? She needs 54 inches of ribbon, right? And what are we trying to convert it to? Right. What is it in yards? Okay? We want to go from inches to yards. Can I go from inches to yards? No. So I have to go from inches to feet and then go from feet to yards. Is everybody clear?
Yes.
Okay? Very good. So, what's my original ratio? For feet and inches, of course, everybody knows that one, right? How many inches in a foot? 12 inches in 1 foot. So we have 12 to 1. Is everybody clear? And now we want to change inches to feet, right? So where does my 54 inches go? In the numerator. Very good. That's 54 up there. And then we're going to solve for x. So here, we're going to take 54 and divide by 12. So I don't know that off the top of my head. So we're going to multiply times 4.5. Is everybody with me? Times 4.5. So down here, we're also going to multiply times 4.5. So x is equal to 4.5 what? Feet. Very good. Now we want to go from feet to yards. You with me? So, let's see. What's my conversion for feet and yards?
1 yard and 3 feet.
And how do I put it in my ratio?
3 to 1.
Right. Very good. 3 feet to 1 yard. Very good. And where do I put the 4.5 feet? In the numerator. Very good. 4.5 goes up here, and we're going to solve for x. All right. So again, I don't know what I'm going to multiply offhand, okay, to get from 3 to 4.5. So I'm going to do a division. So 4.5 divided by 3 gives me, very good. So times 1.5 here, times 1.5 there. So x is equal to 1.5 what? Yards. Very good. Is everybody clear?
Yeah.
All right, so for this last example, we have a total of 35 pints of blood were collected at a local blood drive. We want to know how many gallons of blood were collected at the blood drive. Now, what's the important information here?
25
That's 35. 35 pints of blood collected. And what do we want to figure out? How many gallons? Right. So we're going from pints to gallons. Okay? If you look on your conversion sheet, do you have a conversion that goes directly from pints to gallons? No, we don't, right? We don't have it. But we have one that goes from pints to quarts, and then we have one that goes from quarts to gallons. Is everybody with me? So the first conversion that we're going to do is pints to quarts. Okay? So what's the original what is my original ratio from that chart for pints to quarts? Right. Two pints equals 1 quart. So where am I going to put the 1 and where am I going to put the 2 in this ratio? Where does 1, see this is pints and quarts, where does 1 go and where does 2 go? It's going to be 2 pints to 1 quart. Is everybody clear with that? All right. So now we want to change how much? 35 pints. Where does that 35 pints go? In the numerator. So we're going to put that up here, 35, and we're solving for quarts, right? Okay. Now, do you know what to multiply by to get to 35?
17.5.
And you figure that out by doing what? And what calculation did you do on your calculator? 35 divided by 2. So that's how you got the 17.5. Is everybody clear? So we're going to multiply times 17.5 in the numerator, and we're going to do that same thing down here times 17.5 down there. So that tells me that x is equal to 1 times 17.5, which is 17.5 what? Quarts. QTS. Is everybody clear with that? Is that my final answer?
No.
No. So now I have to go from quarts to gallons. What is the ratio for quarts and gallons?
4 quarts equals 1 gallon.
Right, very good. So we've got up here 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So when I write my ratio down here, let me get my pen again. When I write my ratio down here, what's my first ratio going to be? What to what? 4 quarts to 1 gallon. So that's going to be 4 to 1. Does everybody understand how I do the placement?
Yeah.
So now, where do I put the 17 and a half quarts? In the numerator. Very good. So that's 17.5, and we're trying to get to gallons, right? That's what we're looking for. So, what am I going to multiply to get from 4 to 17.5? First, we have to do that division. Very good. So, we got 17.5 divided by 4, and that gives us, 4.375. Is everybody with me? So, we're going to multiply. Let me just double check. 17.5 divided by 4, yep, 4.375, okay? So we're going to multiply times 4.375. And if I multiply times that in the numerator, I have to do that in the denominator. So we're going to multiply times 4.375. And, of course, that's 1 times that, right? So what is x equal to? 4.375 what? Gallons. Is everybody clear? So this tells me that 35 pints of blood is equivalent to 4.375 gallons.